intro turnaround is one of the most sort of familiar ideas in blues. You'll have heard it hundreds of times in one form or another. Again, there are many variations on it. For this lesson, I've just picked out two basic approaches that we're going to look at, and look at a few variations on, that you can then go on to develop and work out your own sort of variations on. So the first of these approaches is to use the D7th chord shape. And in the first example, we just take this shape up a couple of frets to turn it into an E7th. So that's the familiar D7th chord, taken up 2 frets, it becomes an E7th chord, and we simply strum that strum that one 6 times, take it down a fret, strum that 3 times, down another fret 3 times, then we jump to the ordinary E chord, hit that once, and we finish up on these 3 notes from the E blues scale, played on the A string, open, 1, 2. So altogether that's once you've practiced that a few times and got the hang of it, you've got the basic framework for a number of varieties of intro turnarounds. One nice variety that I like is to, instead of strumming the notes with the picking hand, we separate out the 3rd and 1st string. Let's look at that. First of all, here's the left hand view. You'll see that the left hand does exactly the same as it did with the strumming variety, so there's no change at all in the fingering at this hand. Here's the right hand view. So that's our third idea is again very similar. The left hand's exactly the same, the fretting hand, but with the picking hand, instead of the 3rd and 1st string, I'm going to home in on the 3rd and 2nd string, like this. So very similar, but slightly different sort of flavour to it. Didn't do the chord that time, did I? Let's try again. There you go. So mess around with that and develop your own variations on it. Notice that this could be used for playing an intro or turning around in between the verses of any blues-based tune. You just have to adapt the tempo and the rhythmic feel of it to suit whatever tune you're playing along to. So if I was doing something really sort of like a slow blues, I might do this. And then I could use exactly the same idea to play something really fast, so sort of rocky bass thing, might go something like yeah, so you know, very versatile. Now let's look at some other ideas that are perhaps more suited to fingerstyle playing. These all use open notes, open strings as pedal notes. That's a note that's repeated in a straight line while the rest of the notes kind of move against it. I think you'll hear the effect. So here's the first one. And the picking hand view. the way, under the tab you can see the implied chords of this: E, E7th, A minor, E, B7th. And just strumming these chords is yet another way of playing a turnaround. So, you know, if you're just strumming a blues along, you can often just do that as a turnaround. So your last 4 bars of the blues might get something like... And that has the same effect as a... So that's another neat trick. I'll just throw that one in there. Okay, now here's another nice bassy version using the bottom string, the open E, as a pedal note. So this can actually be played either with a pick or with the fingers. When I play it with a pick, I tend to use a little bit of palm muting just to sort of dampen out those bottom strings. And I play it something like this. Play at any tempo. Or we can use our fingers. It sounds a bit more like this. Or quite a different sound between the fingers and the picks. Let's have a little look at the right hand view. You notice when I'm using the pick, just a little bit of damping here with the heel of the hand. And I use a little down up motion on that second to last bit, so here. Gives a nice little kick to the rhythm. With fingers, I'd probably use thumb and finger. Or 2 fingers, slightly softer sound. All quite effective in their own way. Notice that the implied chords on this particular variation have a slight difference. At the end, we approach the final sort of turnaround chord, the B, in this case a B fifth, from a semitone above, from the C fifth. So our sort of implied chords are something like E, E7th, A minor, E, and then B fifth, C fifth to B fifth. And you can translate this into sort of chord strumming. Instead of using the fifths, I would use 7th chord, so I might use a C7th to a B7th, or use the B7th shape pushed up. 2 ways of doing it. Very similar result. And that's just another common variation. So finally, here's a nice variation that contrasts the high E string as a pedal note against the rundown on the bassier rundown on the 5th string. And at the end of it, you notice we drop that pedal note down to the B string. Now this can't really be done with a pick too easily, so I advise just doing this as a finger picking exercise. And here's the right hand view. What I do here is I use my thumb on the 5th string, and I use my 1st and 2nd finger on the top 2 strings here. So I'm picking with my middle finger on the top E, then I switch to my 1st finger on the B string for the last part. So there you go, there's a few ideas to get you started. Try and work those into your blues rhythm playing as much as you can. And later on we'll also look at how we integrate that into blues lead solos. Don't be afraid, as I say, to experiment with them. They're very, very versatile ideas, and there's all kinds of things you can do with them. Alright, so I'm going to play out now, have a little mess around with some of those ideas myself, and I'll catch you in the next lesson. Look forward to seeing you there. Okay.